Hello and welcome to LA Rider, Louisiana's favorite motorcycle television show. I'm Tammy Arender and so glad you've joined us again this evening. Tonight we continue our series on one of North America's greatest treasures and one of the best rides in this country, and that's the Natchez Trace. In April, LA Rider joined a group of more than a dozen riders on the Natchez Trace as we headed up and visited some of the most historic and wonderful places you've ever seen. Bob Courtney explains.
With a maximum speed of 50 miles an hour and a distance of 444 miles from start to finish, one could theoretically ride the entire Natchez Trace in one day. But why? The historic Natchez Trace Parkway is just made for leisurely riding. And besides, there's so many things to see along the way that you just want to take your time and enjoy the scenery. Scenery like this, just north of Jackson, Mississippi, where the trace parallels the beautiful Ross Barnett Reservoir, a 33,000-acre man-made lake created by damming the Pearl River between Rankin and Madison counties. The reservoir is a prime recreational area and serves as the main water supply for Jackson and the surrounding areas. And one of the best ways to see it is from the Natchez Trace. Now, if you're going to take your time and enjoy the trace, you'll need a place to overnight. We chose the city of Tupelo, Mississippi, which is right off the trace and about halfway to Nashville. There are lots of great hotels and motels here, plus it's the birthplace of the King. Of course, we mean Elvis Presley. But our visit to the King's birthplace also marked our end of good luck with the weather.
No, it's not looking too good, and it's giving me the frizzies.
Well, after 2 days of absolutely gorgeous weather, the rain finally caught up with us here in Tupelo. But a little rain is not going to stop this group, right, guys?
Right!
A little underwhelming, wouldn't you say? But then again, so is Elvis's boyhood home. But there is a nice statue of the young Presley here and a timeline of sorts. There's also a museum if you want to check it out. We didn't. But we did quiz our youngest member, Army helicopter pilot Dan Mayle, about his knowledge of Elvis.
He is a singer from way back when. Pretty good, the king of rock and roll. He was one of the greatest rock and roll beginner singer guys.
Something another.
Or another.
Do you know any of his songs?
I do, but I can't think on the spot. Yeah, I ain't nothing but a hound dog.
There you go.
He wins the prize!
I do know some of them.
He wins the prize! Hey, do I do a great dog imitation or what?
Oh, that was outstanding.
Within minutes, we were back on the trace and dodging rain showers. But even with the rain, the trace is a beautiful ride, especially here north of Tupelo, where the terrain begins to undulate and the road starts to twist and turn. In fact, the ride from Tupelo to Nashville is perhaps the best part of the Natchez Trace. The scenery is even more spectacular on this upper portion of the ride. Plus, there are many more great stops, like the Far Indian Mounds near mile marker 289.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Burial mounds. Yeah.
The Far Mounds is a great place to learn more of the early history of the trace and the people who lived here. It also has a covered pavilion, perfect to ride out a brief rain shower. Riding the Natchez Trace from Natchez to Nashville is a great way to enjoy motorcycling at its finest. For LA Rider, I'm Bob Courtney.
Stay with us when we come back. We'll continue our ride on the Natchez Trace as we visit historic Franklin, Tennessee.